Welcome back, my friends, to your channel. Today we are going to talk about networking, and we are going to talk about IP addresses, subnet mask, NATing, and DHCP. But please, before we start, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Initially, we are going to explain IPv4. IPv4 is considered to be 4 parts, where each part of them consists of 8 bits, and each bit is maybe either 1 or 0. The sum of the 4 parts will be a total of 32 bits. We may see that it's considered from digit 0 to digit 7. And their amount is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128, which is 2 to the power, the digit number, 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, etc. till 2 to the power 7. So their addition will be 255. Now, when we say we have over 8, which means that we have the first 8 bits of the 4 parts, which means the first part only. When we say we have over 16, it means that we have the first 2 parts of the 4 parts, and over 24 the first 3 parts, and over 32 is considered to be the all the parts, which means a single IP address. The IP addresses may be public IPs or private IPs. The private IPs are a part of the NAT, or the network address translation, which we will explain in this video. And the main classes of the private IPs are the classes A, B, and C, with their private IP address range and their default subnet mask that most of you are familiar with them. Now we will explain and talk more about the NAT, or the network address translation. As you may see in the image, we have an inside local IP, which is 192.168.1.1, and we have an outside local IP, which is also the same, 192.168.1.1. There is no conflict among these two, because each one is in a different branch, in a different NAT part. They are hidden behind routers. Now, the router part is to hide these private IPs behind them, and then they will translate this private IP into their public IP that is unique over the internet, and then the packet will go from the internet to the other real IP on the other router, which will get translated to the to inside, and for the outside local IP, which will reply from its side, and its router will also translate its IP into the public, and then the packet will reach again the local inside. The main subnets of the private IPs, as you may see here, are the classes, as we said, A, B, and C, and they have their default subnet masks, which are over 8, over 16, and over 24. Now here it goes to talk about network ID and host ID. It's very important to know how to get the network ID of a certain subnet. For example, if we consider class A, B, and C in their default, then for class A, we will have the first part of the IPv4 number to be the network ID, and the rest will be zeros, while in the class B will take the first 2 parts, and the other 2 parts will be zeros. And for class C, we will take the first 3 parts to be as they are, and the final part will be 0. For example, if we take this IP address in class C, 192.168.10.10, and we take its default subnet, which is over 24, this will lead us to get the network address to be 192.168.10.0, and the host IPs will be 192.168.10.1 till they reach the final IP, which is 254, because 192.168.255 will be considered the broadcast IP of this subnet. Now the main idea here is to subnet these classes into more subnetting, or let's say more subnetworks of these main IPs. I will start directly with an example of a certain IP, which is 192.168.5.120 over 27. Over 27 means that we have 24 plus 3. The 24 part we took from the first 3 parts of the IPv4, which are the first the 8 bits plus 8 bits plus 8 bits, which is equal to 24, and then we will add the 3 bits which to reach the 27. Now the 3 bits are taken from the last subnet mask, from the last part of the subnet mask, which are the first 3 digits. Now 3 digits means that we may have 000, 001, 010, etc. till we have 111. Now the 000 is considered to be 0, 001 will be 32, 010 will be 64, 011 is their addition, which is 96, and etc. etc. The 100 is 128 till we reach the 224. This means that the first network ID is 192.168.5.0 over 27, and its IP addresses will start from 5.1 till 5.30, and 5.31 will be the broadcast IP of this subnet. Now if we continue to the second part, which is the 001 and the which is the 32, we will have the network ID that is 192.168.5.32 over 27. This is the network ID, and the IP addresses of this subnet will start from 5.33 till 5.62, and 5.63 will be the broadcast IP address, and so on. We will continue to make the rest of the network parts of this subnet mask. As you may see, we start from the network ID, which is the number of the subnet of the mask that we get. For example, 160. This will be the network ID, and the first IP address will start from this ID plus 1, which is 161, and the last IP will be the following number minus 2, which is 190. Since the following number is 192, and the broadcast IP will be the following number minus 1, which is 191. Now another example with the same IP address, which is 192.168.5.20, but this time over 26. Over 26, which means 24 plus 2. Now we have only 2 digits from the last part of the subnet, which are either 128 and 64. Now 2 digits means we have 00, 01, 10 and 11, which are 0, 64, 128 and 192. So the first network ID will be 5.0, and the first IP will be 5.1, and the last IP will be 5.62, and the broadcast is 5.63. And we will continue with the rest of the network IDs from the 64 and 128 and 192. As we said before, we will add 1 to each ID, and then we will continue with the rest of the IPs till we reach the following number minus 2, which will be the last IP address. We will continue to a third example, but of the same IP address, but this time we will go over 18, which means taking only the first two parts to be full, and the third part will be will have only two digits, which are the 128 and 164. As we said before, two digits means 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1, which means 0, 64, 128, and 192. Now, the IPs here differ a little bit from the other examples, where the first, for example, subnet will start from 192.168.0.0, and the first IP will be 0.1, and the last IP will be 192.168.63.254, and 63.255 will be the broadcast IP address. Now, these IP address will include, if we start from 0.1, as we said, you will reach in some place, for example, 192.168.1.0 as an IP, 192.168.2.0, 3.0, etc. All these will be IP addresses. Similarly, we will continue with the rest of the numbers of the subnetting. For example, the 64 will start from 64.1 till 127.254, and 127.255 will be the broadcast IP. So we will have also in the middle 65.0, for example, 66.0. Those will be IP addresses, not network IDs. And the broadcast here, as you may notice, it is the 255. The last part will be 255, which means the last part will be considered all of ones to have the 255 to make the broadcast. This will be all about IPv4 and subnetting, my friends. I will continue to talk about the DHCP in other video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.